Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with
Stories.
Hit her in the face with a surfboard.
And then the duck fell out of his bag.
Surf's up. And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody.
No, that's terrible.
This is supposed to be cheesy.
My radio is spitting at me. And I can't choose.
Yeehaw! Here we are, folks. We're back in the studio. Lunch Stuff 7, whatever this is called.
I think we haven't been here since like the 25th or 26th of October, and now it's January 3rd or January 6th, whatever.
Ooh, yeah. Biden was still alive when we recorded last.
By the way, I cleaned up some stuff. It still looks like this, but I cleaned up like 2 arms full of stuff. But I realized some of the stuff we can't clean up because it's got dicks all over it. I mean, big Chaz in your mouth. Like, we're in an office. Like, there's people in suits.
Yeah, but they won't know if it's in the garbage. They won't know it's us.
I know, but I'm walking up the hallway with a giant
Yeah, I
cock.
guess that's true.
So I threw, and some of it's, you know, a
Watch
little,
the nudes there.
I can't pick these up.
No, those
They're
are
covered in Chuck cum.
Yeah, Chuck gum.
There's a 0% chance Chuck is not coming in early and coming all over stuff. By the way, I got here like 2 hours ago because I went to the gym. I had to knock because I'm picturing Chuck with a thong on his head and
Railing some Jenny from the block.
a 6'3" poster of an asshole. But
You must be fucking in here, right?
No fuck.
I've been in here with no sex,
Yeah, please don't have
Anal.
sex in
no
here.
vaginal.
Blowjob, okay. 69, right on that table. It felt sticky when I came in.
Wow, 69ing on a table would be tough because you got to really keep the balance. It's
That's
like a
true.
seesaw.
Yes.
Seesaw something, say-saw something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, we've been all over. You've got a child. You scared the hell out of me. You're like, I'm in the hospital. I'm like, what the fuck? And then you're like, I got a wart
it's
removed.
the doctor. I'm going to the doctor.
Okay.
That's all. Just the doctor.
I got worried the baby fell down and went gay.
No, he's alive. But I can tell you about this if you want to just jump in it here.
Let's jump.
I got between you and me, Elaine, I got a foot odor problem. Well, so I'm nervous about bringing it up because everyone's going to be like, you piece of shit, you're disgusting, kill yourself. Excuse me. But, I love the steam, a big steam guy.
Yes, Steamboat Willie.
Well, I'm just realizing, I guess, when you're done working out and then steaming, you're supposed to shower. Are you familiar with this?
Well, you got to clean off the sweat.
Right, and the steam
jizz.
and the jizz, and everyone's in there, and everyone comes on each other.
Yes.
Well, sometimes I shower. Sometimes I'm going home. So you're in a hurry. You're in a pinch. We're coming to the podcast.
Sure.
And I think, well, it's just steam sweat. You know, you just wipe it, put the clothes on, yada, yada, yada. I got the HPV on my foot. Are you familiar with this? You know about foot HPV?
No. What,
Yeah.
you fuck your foot?
Give it a Google. I don't know. A guy with HPV came on my foot at some point. I stepped in cum. Something happened.
Can I see the foot?
If you want to see the foot, I mean, I don't want to put it on camera. I got
Yeah.
toenails. They're long. They're yellow.
We'll get demonetized.
The feet are long. But that
Yikes.
Fian's making a killing by putting her feet on the podcast.
Well,
so
her foot doesn't have herpes or whatever.
it might. I don't know. I'll
That's
gnaw it
true.
off if it does. Yeah, so I had HPV back in the day because I'm a man. I
Wow,
fuck.
who doesn't? Chuck gives it to everyone.
Yeah. Well, Chuck's got fucking 14 girlfriends at once.
He's got scurvy. Oh, okay.
Anyway,
What, you got a
2,
little
3.
jizz back there?
I
What's
don't know
going
what
on?
happened. I had a long weekend, reflux. I haven't slept. I almost called you Brad. I don't even know your name.
I'll take it.
But I haven't slept. I was in D.C., and I've been eating like shit. I'm gay. And a couple cigars here and there,
that'll
some
do it.
cock. But maybe I'm coming down with something. I don't know. But I had dick warts years ago,
Yes.
as well as the herpes. And the warts, you go to Planned Parenthood, they put the little whiteout on it,
Yep.
it burns a little, and then it's gone. Do you ever have those?
No, never did the word.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, and it's like you go once, it gets shriveled and black, and then you go back, and then next visit 2, gone.
Really? That's pretty good.
So cut to 8, 9 years later, I figured I'm done with HPV. I got one partner, and that's it. And so I go to the steam room, whatever. All of a sudden, I got a little wart develop under the big toe.
Interesting.
And Sarah goes, "Oh yeah, those happen. I don't know. People get warts."
Well, what is it? Don't we have a what do you call that thing on the foot? Not a callus.
Bunion?
Bunion.
A bunion. There's bunions.
Yes,
Now, I don't know what a
Paul
bunion
Bunyan.
is.
I think that's a collection of flesh tissue that hardens.
But isn't that a callus?
Similar, but I think it's more warty.
There's like blister, mole, callus, bunion,
And there's one more, too. I can't think.
goiter.
No.
Bunion is bone.
Oh, it's bone.
Bunion bone.
Bunion bone bump. That's what it says.
BBB.
Oh.
Bunion's a bony bump that forms in the joint at the base of your big toe.
Rub my bunion. I'll give Audrey a quarter too, Audrey.
Yes. There's another one. Keep looking at
Get
some
some
more
foot-
terminology.
I got the HPV foot stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not good.
Really?
It says plantar warts are caused by
Plantar
HPV.
warts. That's what it's called. So I had one
Great
under
planet.
the toe, and I run a lot. I walk a lot. I'm at 20,000 steps a day. So I'm like, it's probably some wear and tear, whatever.
Yes.
Just a hard bump. That was under the toe. That one's no problem. I mean, you got to get it out of there. Then I got one right on the sole of the foot, and it's like under a fucking like nerve, and it like shoots up into the toe. It's painful.
Yeah.
And so finally I went, let me go to the dermatologist. I mentioned her before. I have a dermatologist, the most attractive woman you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, wow.
Legitimately top 5 hottest women I've ever seen. Ever in my life.
Really? Oh, boy.
It's a wild scene. And I try to go for the checkups, the Irish, the thing, skin cancer, Jimmy Buffett,
Yes.
whatever. So I went, I said, hey, I got a couple ding-dongs on my foot here. And she was like, yeah, I looked it up first, and it came right up. Plantar warts,
Wow.
HPV. And it says, like, how do you get these? I'm like, why do I have warts? Probably from running. Probably I'm in such good shape. Cardio.
There you go.
And it's like, no, human papillomavirus, you get it from walking in gymnasiums, steam rooms, or saunas.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, I do that every single day.
Look at that.
And people are like, well, why don't you wear flip-flops? 0 people at Equinox have flip-flops, and they got me because it's such a nice gym.
Yes. $380 a month.
They're in there mopping and glowing and spraying, and
Right.
no one else is wearing flip-flops. And I'm like, maybe flip-flops aren't allowed. Because there, I feel very inferior. I don't belong there.
Right.
Look, I'm dressed like this.
It's hot guys in suits.
And just the hottest women, and everyone has like real shorts. I'm wearing, my nephew's sweatpants
Yeah.
and a Gap hoodie that I've had for 25 years. I look like a dick.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe flip-flops are no good.
It's almost like a foot hemorrhoid,
Indeed.
because it's just right there and it's hurting.
It's hurting, and like I said, I think warts themselves don't hurt, but this is like deep. So I went 2 months ago now, and they got to fucking spray it off with the T1000 from Terminator. What's that shit?
Really?
What's it called?
The
Freon? No.
No.
the metal.
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
It's nitrogen. It's not pleasant. It's like,
Wow.
and it stings, but now it's coming to the surface, so it's hurting. It's bothering me more when I'm walking, and it stings more when they spray it.
Yes.
So every 3 weeks, I have like this beautiful woman just spray nitron on my foot.
Wow. That could be a fetish.
I suppose so. It's quite painful. I know some people like pain. I'm not one of them.
Yeah. Well, what about the high heel up your ass?
That's true.
All right.
Never had that happen though. It's more up here.
I see. Well, it's like a rape fantasy. You don't want it to happen, but it's fun to think about.
Yes.
Okay. Well, maybe can't they put the white out like the dick on the foot?
Well, that's what I brought it up, which is also awkward because, first of all, you can't be one-on-one with a doctor, a lady doctor, or a hot one. Maybe if she was ugly, you can, but she's too hot. So there's like an extra lady in there. It's all women at this place.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this woman's over here, this lady's over here. And I had to be like, I don't want to be weird here, but I had genital warts, and those came right off. And she's like, oh, yeah, those are easy. They don't go as deep. They're like on the skin. You just... But there was part of me that's like, I had genital warts because I'm cool.
Yeah. She knows about your dick now a little.
Yeah, she knows a little bit about the dick, and so I got to keep going, but it's brutal. And then she puts Band-Aids on, puts some whatever cream. Like, they have to scrape the dead skin off and shit, which is disgusting. But she puts a Band-Aid. She's like, keep that on for 6 hours, and then take it off, and then shower. But this is where I'm a piece of shit. I have no discipline. I hate myself. You know me. I haven't been to the gym in over a month. And I can't go to the gym without hitting that steam.
You're back in the Pamplova factory.
I'm dying for a steam, so I go, well, I'll just go steam, and then the Band-Aid comes off because of the steam, so now I'm trying to hobble and walk on my heels, so my fresh wound, and it hasn't been 6 hours, it's only 4 hours. So I think it's going to spread all over my nipples and ass because I have no discipline, Jerry.
You're giving the whole place pamphlet. Your Equipox.
I'm giving it back.
Yes.
They gave what comes around goes around. But I had the Band-Aid on. You have to cram the Band-Aid, and then you walk with the towel under your foot and sliding it. But
you're paying it wartward. Hold on. That's a stretch.
it's not bad.
But yeah, you're putting it back in the system.
But she said, she's like, gyms are disgusting. She's like, all skin stuff comes from there. Ringworm, disease. She's like, you're out of your mind. You shouldn't be going to the gym.
Well, I'm going to use that if I get a chlamydia at the gym.
That's what you should do, yes.
An elliptical.
Yeah, there you go. So now I go as soon as I'm done, but I got to add more time to the gym visit because I'm in the shower. And I lay on my back in the shower with my foot up and blast it off. So now I got, ringworm and herpes on my back.
Well, can't we get you a flip-flop? That's your Christmas gift from old Papa Norm here.
I'm telling you, no one's got flops over there.
I'm getting you a flop.
You get me a flip and you get me a flop, and I'll flip and flop around.
It's going to flop worse than Kreischer's movie. We're going for it.
But so now I got to go every 3 weeks, and they just keep blasting it off. And she's like, I'll give you a cream at home, but then you got to put it on every day. She's like, it sucks, and people forget. And
Yes.
Plus, I like going there. I like seeing her.
Yeah, all right. Well, there's always something. You think you're out of the woods. You got a baby cooking. You're trying to do some road stuff. We're running out of money. Pandemic. Now you got a foot wart.
Foot warts, and what are you going to do? It could be worse, but
Could be
it does
worse.
suck because the shoe, I have to take my shoe off a lot. I leave the sock on, but you're like, it scrunches it in there, and it's like having a nail in your foot. That's what it feels like, especially barefoot. The more it gets to the surface, which is progress.
Yes.
But it feels like I have a fucking tack in my foot.
Is it curable? Like, will it be fixed at the end of the day, or is it?
Yeah. But she's like,
Okay.
it could take up to 7 or 8 sprays.
Jesus.
That's why I was like, I'd rather have 48 dick warts than one foot wart.
You could white out it.
Exactly.
10 seconds. Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
So that disgusted everybody. Everybody hates me. I shouldn't have said this whole story.
Well, when we're done, maybe on the pager, I have a callus on the bottom of my foot, right under the ball of the foot. So I have to walk cockeyed. I have to kind of rest on my morals on the right side of my foot. And I took a sander, a scraper, a paint thinner. I put it all on there, and it just keeps coming back.
Are you sure it's not a wart?
It might be a wart.
You should go to my doctor.
I should, but it feels like a collection of hard skin that's just pushing up against the bone.
That's what this feels like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a little hard
Yeah.
thing.
And I can get it off, but it comes back. Maybe I'll show you after. I don't want to scare the kids.
Yeah, show me. I'm happy to take a look. But,
Okay.
you should see this doctor. It's really a sight to see.
Yeah, I got to get insurance.
Well, you could pay out of pocket.
That's true.
I actually starting to think that just paying out of pocket is better.
I think it might be better because it's a one-time deal. The insurance, they just rape you for months and months and years and years. This is like, all right, that was $500. That stings, but you're going to pay 10 grand over a year.
Yeah, and hospitals will work with you. If you don't have insurance, they're like, just give us $300, whatever.
Yes.
And someone had an idea. Sarah saw this on a TikTok or some shit. So my insurance is $1,700 a month.
What?
Yes,
That's insanity.
fucking crazy.
Oh, I'm not getting it then.
So someone said on TikTok or whatever, take $1,700 a month, put it in an account that's in the bank or the
At a cruise?
whatever, and then you just have it there. So you have all of a sudden you have an account. After a year, you have an account with whatever the money is, $17,000.
That's good.
You go to the doctor for a checkup, they're like, it's $250 and take it right out of there. Meanwhile, it's making money.
Yes.
Instead of just fucking dumping money down the toilet.
And even if it's not making money, you're going to spend less over the year, and then you just take that out, and you're like, oh, I have, whatever I put it accumulation-wise.
The problem is, as everyone will point out, if the fucking wart on your foot turns out to be ass cancer, then you're in a lot of trouble.
That's what they do.
So, I don't know.
And shit does happen, but you're a relatively healthy guy. You're sober. You're gay. I think you're all right.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, hey, good to have you back, and I'm glad you're all right.
I know. I gave all my stories on the last epic one. I got no story. Actually, I went to D.C. I got some stuff.
Okay, yeah, I want to hear about D.C. Syracuse said he went, and the D.C. Improv is one of the great clubs because it's right in the heart of the city. You go down those little stairs, it's right on that main drag, and it just opens up to that low ceiling, dark, wide room. I love that room.
Yeah, I love Dark and Wide. I love Precious.
I was wondering where you're going to go there.
But, by the way, I saw The Holdovers.
Yeah.
You see
Rana,
it?
no, Ranon raved, and I was like, look a little shitty in the preview. Well, what the hell? This guy hates everything, and then he blows the holdover.
Stickaroo. I don't know. Well, we'll talk about it on the movie podcast.
right.
Check out the movie podcast. We could have used you for that killer.
Sorry, I had to get back.
You fucked us.
I got a callus.
Could have really blew up that pod, but
Well, I can only do so much Ron-on in a day.
Yeah, I hear
I got
that.
a Ron-on meter.
yeah. You
Run-on
gotta,
sentence.
well, I got to run on.
Yeah, so let me throw this at your warded foot and see if it falls off.
I hope so.
All right, so don't you love? To me, I love a good deal. I love when something works out.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my scenario.
Great pod.
Me and Sean Murphy are doing. He's opening for me. I got a theater in Hartford on Friday and Concord, New Hampshire theater on Saturday.
Coming up or last week?
Last week.
Gotcha.
So I'm talking to the manager guy. He helps me with routing and how should we run a car? Should we fly? How do you want to work this? What's the best deal? What's the best move? So I figure, okay, we'll rent a car in New York City. We'll drive to Hartford. That's 2.5 hours.
So far, I'm on board.
Lunch, easy peasy. Sean will meet me. We'll go. Then we'll sleep at a hotel, wake up on Saturday, drive to Concord, which is 2.5 from Hartford. Easy again.
Loving it.
Loving it. Then we get to Concord, which is now we're 5 hours up.
Uh-huh.
Do you drive the 5 hours back on Saturday, then return the car, or do we return the car in Concord and fly back in an hour? Yes. So this is the options.
This is tricky. Okay, so I mean, I'm probably gonna drive back because the flight is annoying.
Yeah.
And Concord, that's not even an airport. You gotta get to Manchester.
Ooh.
I assume you're gonna have to drive to Manchester, drop the car in Manchester.
Probably right.
I assume. You can check my status on that, but I don't think there's a Concord airport. Pretty sure.
It might be a little regional mini-me airport up there, a little Brad Williams Air. I don't know.
Maybe a private fucking Buddy Holly plane. But I think you got to get yourself to Manchester now.
It says Concord Municipal Airport.
Municipal.
I don't like
I know.
That means government.
I don't know. Yeah, municipal is like.
It says public use airport, though.
Okay.
Okay,
know.
but does that mean public-private? Can I get a
know.
Delta flight out of Concord, New Hampshire?
That's the question.
I feel like you could use that in like a Pixar movie for like a character.
Yes.
Like he comes in, he's got 3 eyes, he wiggles by.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm probably going to drive. I like a drive. I'll stop. I'll hike, something.
All right. Well, I figured I'm driving back 5
Okay,
hours.
I'm with you.
It's gonna suck. It's like 4 hours and over. It just becomes annoying, you know. But fuck it, we'll do it. And it's a 7 o'clock show, which changes everything.
So after the show, you're going to drive
After the
home.
show, drive home. So get back that night, maybe at 2, 3 in the morning.
Okay.
Too late?
Well, it's interesting because I just did DC, and I'm in the old school mentality of when I was 25, and you would drive because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Flying is expensive. It's a whole thing. And then not until the morning of was I like, why the fuck am I driving to Washington, D.C.? It's 5.5 hours with traffic.
Yeah.
5 hours back. I could
Yeah.
have flown for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And driving's expensive. All the fucking
Tolls
and
and
gas.
gas.
My ass.
Right.
So I'm coming off of a regretful drive.
Oh, you
but
drove?
I drove.
Oh.
But then you're in the car, you got fucking, the buzzcocks cranked, and
Yeah.
Wayne and I are singing along, we're high-fiving, we're kissing.
Yeah.
And then we're doing you got to hear this song. Oh, you don't know this band? So we're doing that. So then it's all worth it. So whatever you decide, it works out, I say.
True. But also don't forget, he's my opener, Sean. So if I fly, he flies.
Right.
If I drive, he drives. So you got to save a little money on the non-flights. That's 2 flights
Right.
versus 1 car.
That's true.
So that's,
But I imagine that's a cheap flight.
I guess.
But the 1 car, yes.
But sometimes those regional municipality bullshits are actually more money because no one flies out of there.
There's no flights.
Yeah. So either way, so we got to wrench it. So we got a bit of a scenario here, and Sean's like, whatever you want to do, I'm down. Jason Katz, the great filmer, editor extraordinaire, most annoying guy on the planet, says, hey, you want me to film you in Hartford? And I go, oh, yeah. And he goes, I'll just drive up and shoot you, and I'll drive back. And I go, well, if you're driving up, I'll ride with your fat ass. You'll talk the whole way. You'll sweat. Then I'll sleep in Hartford and get a car which will be way cheaper in Hartford than it is in Manhattan.
So he's only going to Hartford.
Yes.
Ah.
So now you're doing something to help me.
Okay.
Finally. So Katz goes, yeah, I'll drive. So we jump in his car. We just let him go. I let him talk. He's like Teddy Ruxpin. I pull a string in the back. He talked for the whole 2.5.
He likes to communicate.
Great guy, funny guy, whatever. We get to Hartford. He drops us at the hotel. We shit, shower, and shave. He goes straight to the venue, sets up the cameras, texts me 800 times about thoughts he had. Then we show up. We do the show. It's killer. And we all go out for cocktails after. He has one beer, drives back, gets home by midnight or whatever. And we wake up. We rent a car on Saturday. It was $80.
Nice. Electric car?
No, never again. Fuck you, EV. And then drive to Concord, bomb, drive back that night, got back at 1:45 in the morning. Couldn't have been better.
Now let me ask you this, though,
Please.
because the usually these small towns, the rent in one place, drop off somewhere else. They don't care for that
They didn't like it.
because then it's extra money for that. And oftentimes now, post pandemic, they're like, we can't meet your needs.
Yeah,
They had it.
There is a little of that. You do pay a upcharge for dropping it off, but I dropped it off in New York, which I think is more helpful because they're like, we need some cars in New York.
Right.
So that helped. But yeah, they don't like when you drop off. But I'll tell you, that car ride back was so fun because Sean doesn't drink. I like to get a couple road beers in the car,
Sure.
especially for 5 hours. Couple of roadies, but he doesn't drink. So he goes, what if we get ice cream? So now we go to an ice cream place. We get the cone, the cup, the whole thing. We're just two fat dweebs in there talking comedy, slurping up Dairy Queen Blizzard, and we had a great time. And the car ride at night is a whole special thing because you got a little music humming, and you can really connect.
Yes.
We got, you start off talking, hey, did you see that special? Boy, that Matt Rife's got some great arms. Here we go. And then before you know it, he's talking about it. He just moved in with his girl. I'm talking about marriage. We're talking about life and love and money and what are you going to do with your career and all. And it really got good.
That's the great thing about the car ride, because the flight, you put your AirPods in,
Yes.
your sleep mask on, you dildo up your ass,
Yes.
you go to bed. Not to mention, these fucking piece of shit openers aren't sitting in our section, if you know what I mean. But the car, you pretend to be equals. You're
Yes.
there,
Yes.
you let them talk for a couple minutes, and you really you get to know each other. You really live.
Really bonded. That ride flew by. He had a chocolate mustache. He didn't even know it. I didn't have the heart to tell him. And we landed in and I said, how about this, you fat queef? We'll go to my house and I'll Uber you to your house.
Yeah, you got to do it.
Yeah, so great night. And it's something fun pulling up in Manhattan. I pull up right to my apartment. It's 1:45 in the morning, so there's a bunch of spots. It'll roll over to Sunday, no meter.
Sunday rules.
Sunday rules, and then I Ubered him home, and you're just like, oh my God, I'm sitting in my bed or sitting on my couch watching a movie. I finished some movie, and I got a cocktail, and I'm like, this is living.
It's good life. And yeah, we had similar weekends. You went north, I went south. I was down in D.C., Duck Capital. That's an old joke I saw a guy do. So many black people, I thought D.C. stood for Decapital.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's not great.
Chocolate City. Well, the black folk like to add a D to the front of the things, like Deshaun or DeMarcus.
Yeah,
You see that a lot on the football field.
that's true.
They like a D.
Detention. Well, I'm just thinking of things that start with D. I'm not trying to associate.
I thought that was a prison joke.
No,
Divorce.
divorce. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Debris.
Da Vinci Code.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever see those?
Nah. I tried to read the book, but it's just sitting on the back of the toilet.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
You know what's funny is when they put Tom Hanks' face on the book.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the book.
Well, that was an old Mike Kaplan joke. It was one of my favorite jokes ever.
Oh, yeah?
He said when they write a book and they put the book out, then they make a movie, then they re-release the book with the movie poster. Like it's going to fool people. Hey, Brad Pitt's in this book.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's
Brad
hilarious.
Pitt's in this book. That's gold. But
That's really funny.
But yeah, Matt Wayne and I had the drive down, and Umar came and he emceed.
Well, you're in the DMV. D.C., Maryland, Virginia.
Oh, yes. I think you meant Department of Motor Vaginas.
That's a tough vagina. A lot of motor oil.
Yes, the DMV and the traffic. And everyone, also with D.C., everyone, just strangers in the street are like, you're going to D.C., don't drive.
Right.
And you're like, I'm driving, I'm a piece of shit. And then you have that thing, you're going to the gig. I bailed on Thursday because I have the baby, so I wanted to be with the baby. And then you get there for the weekend. You ever have this thing? You get down there for the weekend, you're all excited, then the owner comes in and they're like, I can't believe you kept this weekend. Isn't your baby like 10 days old? And then you're like,
yeah.
should I have canceled?
Now I feel bad.
Like the owner was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, selling out.
2 words. Providing.
Yes.
You know, that's how you justify anything. Hey, what are you? You selling purses in Times Square at 2 a.m? I'm providing for my family.
Well, I'm making up gigs. I mean, Sarah, she doesn't have access to my bank account. So I'm like, whoa, private in Vegas. Woo! Big hot corporate gig in Vegas.
Gotta take it.
It's the weekend of the Pac-12 championship. I gotta go down there, and my set is at the Raiders game on Sunday.
Go Pac Joe.
That's crazy. Evidently they want me to play poker all day. They're gonna give me $50,000. So I'll be right back.
Gotta do it.
That's not a bad idea.
Kid needs diapers.
This is a pretty good idea we just came up with here.
We have something.
I got a gig in Amsterdam.
Oh, I gotta get. It's at the whorehouse.
It's in the red light district. They're raising money for prostitutes.
Yes. That prostitute has a kid. I have a kid. It's solidarity
I'll be back Sunday
with the foot warts.
So that's not bad. So then, I had this feeling, which is a good feeling, and I hurt Umar's feelings. Umar Khan, great guy.
Funny guy.
He asked to feature. I said, hey, I got old Matt Wayne coming. He said, well, maybe I'll just MC. And I said, please. And so then we're going down to the gig, and Matt Wayne's like, I hope we don't get some annoying fucking host. And I'm like, I know, sometimes you have bad hosts. Now, the feature act, for those that aren't familiar, they're in there with the host.
Yes.
Because we're on stage for an hour every night, twice a night.
Good point.
So the feature and MC are just in there. So you got a bad MC, the feature is suicidal.
Ruined. They really got a canoodle. It's a tiny room. It's like this. And they got to hang out for at least 2 hours of the night.
So, because no one's going to watch the act every time.
Nah, not yours.
So we go. So we're driving. We're like, I hope it's a good MC. Fingers crossed. And we're halfway there before I'm like, oh, Umar's hosting. I totally forgot.
Yes.
And I told the story to Umar thinking it'd be funny. And he's like, you forgot. I've been promoting it all week. And I was like, well, who gives a shit about you?
Yeah. It's sometimes that's reasonable. But sometimes people give you this one where they're like, oh, yeah, I did a podcast about that. You didn't listen to it? I'm like, listen to your podcast. There's 8 million podcasts. I got to listen to your exact one you're referencing right now. You're offended I didn't hear that podcast you were on?
Right.
But, sorry, I jizz.
By the way, Umar fucked me up for like 25 hours because I started telling a story. We were talking to MCs again. I was like, it's so nice to have a great MC because obviously Umar does his own headlining.
Sure.
And is a killer feature, but he just wanted to hang,
Yeah.
which I was grateful for. But he was like, yeah, I heard this. I started telling a story about one MC that from years ago, let's say, who I just hated. And he was like, you told this story. I heard the story. And I was like, I told you, you heard the story. And he's like, you told it on the podcast.
Oh.
And I was like, well, I didn't tell this part. The guy said this and this and this. And he was like, yeah, you told that on the podcast.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, that doesn't sound like me. I was like, I told this story about the MC. I just shit on him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah.
Oh,
he's like, I listen every week.
Taken down.
And I was like, that sounds crazy. And he's like, yeah, I listened to it. And then he told the whole story.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, fuck. Well, I feel terrible.
Oh, well, we should get that bleeped or something.
No need. The next day I got a text. I'm a fucking idiot. We hung out in Philly. You told me that story in Philly.
Ah, Jesus.
Because I was like, why would I go on a podcast and just be like, the MC, this 19-year-old kid is a piece of shit?
Well, how did he come to that realization? Was he just showering going, oh, wait, that was Philly?
Because he remembered me telling the story and just assumed I haven't seen him since the bachelor party or the wedding, whatever I saw him.
Got it.
And so load off my mind.
Yeah.
Load on my back.
There you go.
But, great weekend in D.C. Like everyone says, it's the best club. And I hadn't done it since 2006. I featured for DePaulo there. which was funny because they've
Vamped?
revamped, and then there's that door in the green room from this comedian.
Yes.
And Matt was like, "What's this door? Is this the bathroom?" I go, "No, that'll take you right to the stage. Check it out." And he opens the door, and there's just a couple eating. He was like, "Whoa!" And so it's all revamped, and of course, Comedian takes place there, which we love.
Oh, yeah. Great. Does Wayne know
He met briefly
Uh-huh.
at Magoob's,
I see.
but they hit it off, I think.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they liked each other.
All right.
And, well, they both were. We were all talking music, and they were on the same. And Umar is, like, opinionated in all the right ways.
Oh, he's
you know,
good.
he can really...
Good mind on that Pakistani.
He can really get in there. Yeah, I don't care for his parents' religion, but he's a
Sure.
great guy. And I'm kidding, of course. I'm joking. It's a joke.
Yeah. Well, he had to do a Pakistani. They made him do a Pakistani wedding,
Right.
and he said that was hell.
No booze.
No
5
booze.
days, no booze.
Full garb, full wacky robes, and the poor white wife's got to pretend to like it, and they're eating with their hands, and there's an elephant there. It's a whole thing.
But anyways, yeah, just a great weekend. And then, so it's weird when you cancel the Thursday because you lose a day. I like having 2 days in the town.
Of course.
Now, you're like me, I think. I like comedy. I like being on the road.
Yes, love the road.
Every time I see Stavros, he's like, by the way, new episode of Stavros' pod, best pod I ever did. It was me, him, and Bobby. And
Okay.
my God, we had a great time.
I hope you weren't in the middle. That's a crisis. It's a lot of weight coming on you there. Well, I guess Bobby's thin now.
It was a real sandwich. Well, it started off just Stav and me. Bobby came in. It was the Thanksgiving episode. Everyone should check it out. It was a million laughs. I really enjoyed
All right.
being over there. But what the fuck was I saying about Stav?
Oh, you did one night in D.C.
Oh, yeah. Every time I see Stav, he's like, I got to get off I can't wait to be home. I just want to live like a normal person. I'm going to go to Baltimore and live a life and see my mom and cook and just go to bed at night. And I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
No, it's like the comedian thing. Like, this family lives in a house. There's a little curl of smoke coming out of the window. They're sitting down for dinner. There's a candle lit, a turkey dinner. And he's like, how do people live like that?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I want a home and a yard and a neighborhood that's not filled with crackheads and parking. Don't get me
Sure,
wrong. I like
sure,
that. But
yeah.
I still like going on the road and doing comedy.
The best.
It's very fun.
The hotel, the new town, there's no one breathing down your neck. Hey, where are you? You're supposed to be here. And you're like, you're just sitting at a coffee shop at noon.
It's wonderful. And by the way, I mean, I don't want to sound like an asshead, but boy, do I have a nice cooking act right now. It's hot to trot.
Is that
baby.
right?
Well, D.C., I might have been fucked by D.C. because they're such good crowds.
Yeah, but that's a nice feeling.
But I got all this baby pregnancy shit, which was really cooking. The crowds were hot. We sold out of shirts on Friday, which was fun.
Wow, love that.
And I'm trying to get an email list going, and I'm trying to do businessy things, and everyone's like, email.
Yeah,
All
I
people
know.
are like, what are you talking about?
What is this, 2008?
I had a QR code with emails like, get on this email list. That was fun. We were trying to pitch the emails.
So you don't know Saturday?
We did Saturday.
Oh,
We
you
did
did-
Friday,
okay,
Saturday. 2
okay.
Friday, 2 Saturday. Everything sold, which was great. And then Saturday morning, we woke up early because I'm all fucked up with sleep.
Yeah.
And got a nice breakfast at the hotel. I said, let's go down to the White House, see the National Christmas tree.
Ooh,
which
love
was
it.
Whatever.
Ah.
Walked around the White House. There's all kinds of protesters and stuff, which is fun because it's real kooks.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime, any day, there are straight up kooks at the White House.
It's fun because, yeah, that's true. But you got to know jizz in the fight. So you get to observe. These people we got to get up, we got to make signs, we got to put on a garb and go out there and get angry.
Well, it was like 6 people that are just like, let's get rid of the nuclear weapons. They just have like sheets of paper that they like hand wrote, like
Yeah.
no nukes or whatever. And then there's
Right.
literally 6 of them.
And you're like, what is this? Who's this for?
I think it's just a group. I think it's like their AA or their
Yes.
like podcast.
Or they're like pickleball.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
They're like, let the 6 of us will get together. We'll get pads of paper.
It's a group. It's like you watch these cult documentaries. You go, who is signing up for that? Who is doing that? You're like, people need a group.
Yes, we're lucky. We're very lucky.
Very lucky.
We're a social job. But I love the idea of Biden with binoculars looking out and going, all right, honey, let's get rid of these nukes. I see a Mead notebook. They're out there again.
Yeah, when I was doing a gig in Seattle, this is 5 years ago, I was walking around the seaport, and there was a big protest, big hubbub. I'm talking 500-600 people. Circumcision is mutilation. Anybody who circumcises their kid is a piece of shit.
Oh, boy.
And I'm just walking around with my circumcised dick going, how about that? You're like, what a way to spend a Saturday.
These people go crazy about circumcision. You're like, I'm circumcised. I have no memory.
No memory, and I like it. Looks fine, and every girl I talk to hates the uncirc. So Cirque du Soleil.
Absolutely. Yeah, people are like, you fucking piece of shit. It's
Mutilation.
animalistic. But then I'm also like, well, the baby gets 17 needles up their ass also. They can't seem to, they don't enjoy that.
Yeah, we also cut the umbil.
Right. And I also, you fucking put Q-tips in their ear, you cut their toenails off, you put things in their asshole.
Right. The woman's on heavy drugs. What do you call that? Dilate or what's that word?
Violate.
That's
Violate
the one.
women.
Yes. No, what is that one? She's epidural.
Ah, the epidural. That's no joke.
What does that mean? I pretend to know what that means.
It's a needle in the back. They shove a needle right in the back. It's basically an IV.
Huh.
And then it goes in. It's like an IV into your spine.
Whoa.
And you press a little button, and it soups you up with drugs.
Oh, is that right?
It's quite something.
Better than an EV. It's just crazy that someone thought of that.
Yeah, they thought of everything. We're in a nice time. I mean,
We really are.
the end times, but still a nice time overall.
Well, we say the end time. Everybody's like, oh, the world is ending. It's all on fire and, division. But I'm like, the reason you're allowed to have all these opinions is because we live in a nice place.
Right.
I don't know. I know that's controversial.
Right.
But also, everybody keeps moving here as well. So that's got to tell you something.
Yeah, it's a hell of a country. Nice cunt.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that Venezuelan migrants came to Chicago and left?
No.
Yeah, that's like a headline on the paper. It was like, migrants leave Chicago. They said it's the horrible living conditions. I was like, that can't be. Is that like an Onion thing? But it was true.
That's really funny.
That's good stuff. I mean, it's like a gag, like a Babylon Bee or something.
That's one of our best cities.
That's what I
My
said.
God, imagine if they went to Baltimore and bumped into Umar.
Ooh, oh, you got to fly right out of there. You see that? He's like, hey, he looks like us. We got to go.
But yeah, Umar, great hang. Wayne, great hang. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. DC. What else happened Saturday? Oh, we went and saw the holdovers.
Yeah.
And just
Sappy horse shit.
yeah, I just didn't get it. I didn't like it. I don't care. It was fine. I liked it. I like whatever you guys thought. I thought.
Okay.
But I love a movie because now with a baby, everything is like, whoa, a movie.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Movie, baby.
Everything's a treat. It's a field trip.
It's very fun. I love going to the movies. We hit a Chipotle. You walk around. You get your 20,000 steps in. It's fucking fantastic. And those shows, my God, they killer shows.
And they do it right. They treat you well. You get a little meal in there. I love it. Did you stay right in the city, right by it?
Mayflower, right across the street.
The Mayflower.
High class. And then, so of course,
Gayflower.
so Saturday or Friday, I'm sitting in the hotel. Sitting in the hotel. Dustin Nickerson. Hey, I'm in D.C. too. And I go, all right, nice. Glad to see you. Or good, whatever. Nice.
Yeah.
And then Syracuse. Hey, I'm with Dustin Nickerson.
Hey.
And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It's a party. They're with Taylor Tomlinson over at the arena or
They're
whatever.
shooting the big boy at the Tyson.
Is that right?
Chicken.
Mike
Yeah,
Tyson.
it's a big. That's where Shane Gillis did his. It's a big amphitheater soliloquy. What do you call that? Just triple tiered, crazy room.
I know. It's always funny when you're in a city and you get the and you're like, hey, what are you doing in town? They're like, I'm doing the Georgetown basketball arena.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
oh, nice.
I know. Like I saw Schultz is in Melbourne and Sam's in Melbourne. I'm like, hey, Schultz is over there, and he's like, yeah, he's doing the the Delta airplane hangar, and you're like, okay, he's doing four over there. It's 900,000 seats.
But anyways, I said, hey, well, you guys got to come by if you want, hang out, whatever. I'll be there. And they're like, get us on the list, which is, it's just, I'm like, Dustin's posters all over. I'm like, I think you can get in.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
So that's fun. In between shows, you get the knock on the green room door, and they come in. They both got mustaches.
Yeah.
They're like a pair. It's like Mario Brothers.
That's fun.
And we crammed in there Umar, Dustin, Syracuse, Wayne, and we just had a bunch of chuckles. And you can always shit on Syracuse. He'll just take it. He loves it.
He loves it.
And yeah, he's such a great laugh.
Great laugh, great present, never in a bad mood. You ever seen him be like, shit's just not going my way?
No, never once. Plus, he's got the Hawaiian shirt. He debuted a new shirt. He's going full Kramer, by the way.
He's leaning in and he loves it.
Yeah, and he's found him like, did you bring the camera? I got a show here tonight. And he goes, nah, I left it at the hotel. And I'm like, you could have really helped me out here, but...
Yeah.
Hey, folks, Tuesdays with Stories is brought to you by Blue Chew. If you want to get it on, you're going to have to get it up first. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this show's been on the air for 11 years, so I got to assume some of the folks at home having a little trouble getting boner. I wonder if anyone's been on the show, listened to the show every year, the whole time.
I'm sure.
So there's got to be some people in their 50s at home listening to this. I've seen some of you come out. You can't get it up. I know it.
Oh, yeah.
Blue Chew can help you. It's an online service that delivers ED medicine right to your door. It's got the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra at just a fraction of the cost. I love Blue Chew. I really love it. This stuff is great. You take it, and it just works.
Oh, yeah.
It works. Doesn't it work?
It works great. You can chew it. It works quick. Never failed me. I'm on it right now.
Yeah, you go to Skankfest. Everybody's got it. Who's got the Blue Chew? Who's got the hookup? Everybody
right.
wants Blue Chew. Everyone I've ever heard that uses it, absolutely love it. Never heard a bad thing. Literally never heard one single bad thing about Blue Chew.
Flawless.
It kills. It kicks ass. It's the best. It's easy to get started. Sign up at bluechew.com and talk to one of their licensed medical providers. Once you're approved, you'll get your prescription in just a few days. Everything's done online. I haven't slept in a while. Everything's done online, so you can skip all the waiting in the doctor's office and all of the awkward conversations. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at bluechew.com. Chew it and do it. And as a special deal for Tuesdays with Stories listeners, try Blue Chew free when you use promo code Tuesdays at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code Tuesdays to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. Thanks, Blue Chew, for sponsoring our show.
Hear, hear. Hey, folks, Tuesdays with Stories is brought to you by Sheath. You know we love the Sheath. It's time to talk about it. The best underwear out there. I can tell you that I'm wearing it right now because I literally wear it every day. Look at this. Boop. There's the old emblem right there, folks. Sheath. It's got 2 pouches, one for your nuts, one for your twigs. Wait, one for your nuts and one for your twig. Keep the stuff separated down there, reduce chafing, sweating, and gives that extra support. Whether you're out for a jog or lounging on the couch, Sheath has you covered with both comfort and style. Love Sheath. Wear it right now. What more can I say? It's all I wear throughout all the other bullshit. The Hanes, the Fruit of the Jew, whatever you call it. They're all gone.
Get the hell out of here.
Burned them. For the ladies in the audience, we got the boxer briefs, the bralettes, the boy shorts, the bikinis, and comfy thongs. Ooh, so you'll be all set no matter what the occasion. Go to sheathunderwear.com and use code TUESGAYS to get 20% off your first order. Plus, Sheath Underwear's 100% money-back guarantee. That's sheathunderwear.com, promo code TUESGAYS. Get Sheath Underwear, support the show, and support your cojones. So what do you think about this? I went to the DC. I was open for Schumer at some place, Lincoln, DAR.
I love that place. That place is amazing.
I think that's where Rife did his.
And we opened for Louie special there.
That's right.
Which we both appear in.
And Chris Rock and I believe Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy,
did
Delirious.
Special there, yeah. So I was open for her there years ago, and we had a night off. And I said, hey, I'm at this hot room with this hot comic. Let me pop down to the DC Improv. And it was Pablo Francisco. So this is probably 2012, 13. So he was like a hot ticket.
Right.
Sold out the whole weekend. And I've heard all about him, in a world. He did
Yes.
the movie voice. So I said,
think he still does.
let me go watch some comedy. I go in and I go, hey, one please. I'm a comedian. And they go, yeah, that'll be $6,800 or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm a comic. I'm at the DAR. And they go, we don't care. And I go, oh, I'm a comic. I thought that's how it went. Because at the Cellar, you used to go in and go, I'm a comic. They'd put you on the bench.
Yes.
But I think that's over.
Some comics have been on that bench for a long time.
Bench warmers. But I think that's done because there used to be 9 comics in America. Now there's 9 million.
Yeah, anyone can just get in. I think maybe at a huge club with his empty seats, but that DC Improv is pretty tight.
It's pretty tight, and he was sold out to the rafters. But I was like, oh, I'm a comic. I'm doing the DAR with Schumer, and they were like, well, yeah, who cares? But let me talk to the manager. And this lady came out, and she goes, we're not really in the business of giving out free seats.
Wow.
And I was like, I get that it's a business, but I'll stand in the back. And she was like, okay. And I just stood in the back.
Now, maybe he had a percentage deal and his people didn't want people walking in. Because
Maybe.
I remember that years ago, like back in 06, Louie was doing a Sunday at the Comedy Connection. It was when he was breaking but hadn't exploded. And it was a thing where I think they were a little bit shy about giving out good deals. And I think his people, you know, they were like, we want whatever it was, 90% of the door or whatever. And they had the guy.
The clicker.
Because I remember every comic wanted to get in for that. And they're like, there's absolutely no hanging out in the back.
Wow.
Because the club was going to be like, Louis' people were going to be like, hey,
Who's
that's
that guy?
$10 for that guy.
Right.
And they're like, no, he's a comic. And so maybe that was the deal.
That might have been it, and if they would have told me that, I would have understood. But I remember at the time, I was like, this is kind of weird. They won't let me in.
Yeah, fuck off. Boy,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about when we were in D.C. together. So many great memories. You and me, Austin and D.C. I have a lot of great memories. I think from that Louis tour.
I remember what was Austin?
Austin, we walked across the bridge. We walked all the way to South Congress, which I dragged everybody up there. I remember
that's
walking
right.
across that bridge. The sun was setting. We did Morgan Murphy.
Yes.
We did the
Got the
ACL.
queso. ACL, Austin City Limb.
And that was the, I shouldn't tell this story, but
The famous fart on the bed?
the fart in the bed
Yeah.
story, that one's known. But then we had a moment, maybe we'll cut this, but we were in the jet and we were talking about Louis.
Oh, that was a great one.
We were talking about Louis' special, and he said, well, I think hilarious. Maybe that's my weakest special. We both went, what are you, crazy? This bit,
The Comedy
that bit,
Store.
this bit. And he goes, maybe you're right. Maybe that is great. And he goes, well, maybe the Comedy Store is my weakest. And both of us just looked out the window.
Yeah, what is that, a horizon? Is that a seagull out there?
Which, by the way, I recently rewatched that Comedy Store one.
Come on.
And it's better than I remember.
Oh, really?
For some reason, I was very disappointed. As I didn't know Louis at the time, but I was a huge Louis fan. I just thought it wasn't up to snuff. But as
All
I
right.
rewatched it, I was like, this is better than I remember.
I remember he had the Wizard of Oz bit, and I hated.
I like that one now.
Okay, maybe I'll rewatch.
Yeah, I
'Cause
rewatched,
Well, the
and-
thing is, his bar was so high.
It was a high bar, and it felt like him just kind of threw
mitzvah.
something together, is what it
Yeah.
felt like at the time.
Exactly. We was doing that hour a year thing that some say ruined comedy.
Yeah, I don't think that's what's ruined comedy, but it's. I think it's the minute a day is what's ruining comedy. But which it goes up to about an hour a year.
That's
by the way.
true. Well, Louis says that the clips are ruining it, and Seinfeld says the hours are ruining it. So everybody's got their opinion.
Well, it's a weird thing because, well, the clips, though, I can make a much better argument that the clips than the hour. How is an hour going to ruin comedy?
Well, because a special is not a special, and everybody can put one out on YouTube, so there's no gatekeeping.
Right.
And people are writing to get to that hour, so the quality has gone down.
Right.
That would be the hour argument.
Right, but to me, it's like a bad hour is always going to be a bad hour, and a good hour is always going to be a good hour. Whereas the minute, it just makes people want to get like, it just makes people's attention span shorter, and it makes them go, nothing's happened yet. So it gives them a 5-second attention span.
Sure.
And plus, it feels like with the thing of like, I got to feed this, I need something every day.
Yes.
That's quality going down. Because
Big
over
time.
the course of a year or a year and a half, 2 years, you can put together an hour. But the idea of like, give them something each and every day is like, eventually it's just going to be like, plus you don't want to give away the best stuff because you want to save that for your hour.
Yeah.
So then you have these clips like we've talked about before where literally it's like a person kicking somebody out.
That's the clip.
They're literally like, get out of here, you drunk, fucking beat it. And then date scroll. And you're like,
yeah.
Okay. But both,
you're
both
right.
are bad. But also it's crazy because there's just so many hours.
So many hours and so many clips. Like it's like you said, our feed used to be sunset, baby, puking, hot lady, and now it's just, where you guys from? How long you been together? What do you do for a living? And that's my whole feed now.
Yeah, I've seen people like picking stuff up off of people's tables and stuff. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
when does this end?
I know. That's why I always tell people, and now we're getting too comedy inside, but I'm like, shoot an hour and clip that. Just so you're not putting a salt shaker up your ass from the Funny Bone.
Right. Exactly. That to me makes much more sense and material. But also, I think this happens too, as people get so into the crowd work, then they see the material from the crowd work person. They're like, what the fuck is this?
Short money.
What the hell is going on here?
I know. You go out and see the guy at the Improv, and you're like, that was it? That was the act? Never again.
But wait, what were we about to say? Louis. Oh, but anyways, that was funny because he was like, maybe that's my weakest. And we We couldn't even think of something to say.
Yeah.
Which is also dangerous when you're trying to figure out your weakest hour.
I know.
Eventually, you're going to have to get to one that is the weakest.
It's true.
So it was a little awkward, but looking back, it's much better than I remember.
Okay, well, I do remember that was such a magical weekend and was that Austin or was that DC?
That was coming back from Austin.
Okay, that was such a great one. Maybe it's the DC because we did a private jet. And he cracked open this old-ass whiskey. I mean, it was like a 50-year-old whiskey, and he was saving it for a special occasion. He felt so good. Remember, he did four sets at the DAR, and wasn't happy with the first three. And the last one, it was just magic. He just got it.
Yes.
So it was like this special night. We fly back. He cracks that whiskey, and I remember in midair, whiskey in hand, I had a little buzz going from the 2 or 3 glasses of whiskey I had, and just thinking, this is fucking. I'm with my pal. I'm with the greatest comic on the planet. We're in a jet. I'm drinking an old whiskey. It doesn't get any better than this.
It was awesome. I don't know if you and Louie were pals at that point.
I was talking about you.
I know. It was an old switcheroo. I did a switcheroo, but yeah,
Not
that
pals.
was really glorious. And DC was because remember we walked around, we had cigars, we were talking to the Secret Service guy.
Yes.
That was insane. We were throwing the orange back and forth.
Yes.
That video still exists somewhere. I think Rachel was on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, Lynn. It was
Lynn Coplitz.
We went to the Georgetown game. Berkowitz got us tickets.
Oh, we went to the open mic at the Big Hunt.
Oh yes.
With Fat Chris Al was there, and he told Louie he was a genius, and we all went, jeez.
Yeah, I think he told us the same. Man, it was just fucking glorious. And I was there before with Louie and Michelle Wolf, because that was like later when I would become quite close with Louie.
Yes.
But that was one of the first gigs I did was me, Wolf, and Louie. And I remember we went out to like steak, and Michelle had to go. And I was like, I kept having these things. Louie and I have a lot of things in common, obviously. So I was like, yeah, you go. I'm going to walk. I love D.C. I'm going to walk by the White House. And he was like, oh, well, I like walking around D.C.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll come with you. And I remember being like, oh my God. And we talked, Nixon administration. And I was like, I know, that was crazy. And I was Spiro Agnew,
Right.
how the fuck you say his name? And he's like, oh, you know Agnew? And I was
Yes.
like, oh, I know Agnew. And it was so exciting. I was like, oh my
course.
God, I'm talking politics with Louie in D.C. This is crazy.
That was, I remember when you started, I mean, we've covered all this before, but I remember when you started working with him, he went down and saw you, and you did the threesome joke.
The threesome, that was big, yeah.
And he loved it, and then you guys went up and chatted, and I remember being like, what? This is all pre-cancel, pre-everything, so it was like, this is Louie. Like, this is a celebrity. This is a guy who's at the Oscars. He's a filmmaker. He's got the biggest TV show.
Cover of Rolling Stone.
Cover of Rolling Stone, like Joe Walsh's song, and you're sitting and chatting with him, and you're a schmuck from Whitman, and I'm a cum guzzler from New Orleans, Louisiana, so just the fact that we're canoodling with this piece of shit was insane.
It was wild, and then I think I remember calling you or texting you or jerking off on you because he was like, don't you have you're the one with the podcast with Mark Norman?
Yes,
and I was
exactly.
like, what? I remember being like, he knows who we are. Holy shit, this is crazy.
Now, do you ever think? And now I'm gonna get a little woo woo queefy, but that flight back that happened. The DAR thing happened. Not all of it was filmed. Whatever. You fly to Teterboro. You get into a car. You go to your house. It's all over. We've had a million nights like that. A million clubs. A million hotels. A million flights. They all just fluff away.
They're fluffed away.
Or
All
slough.
that's real is the moment here,
Yes.
which is also pretty good, by the way.
True, but don't you wish you had that's one thing I like about the phone cameras. I hate all the filming and all the ratting people out and all the Karens and all that shit, but like, it is nice to have a lot of that documented.
Yeah, of course. Well, I say this all the time when I go on these trips. Is like I'm taking photos. Some you post, of course, but a lot you take just for the memory.
Yes.
Like when I did that whole 2017 tour, we went to Europe and everything, and I took photos of every single hotel room just so you can go back and be like, wow, that's what the room looked like.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not showing anyone or posting it, but you're like, oh wow, I remember that bed.
Yes.
I remember that cloth. And boy, that was unbelievable. And now you just continue to be friends with these people. Now you see Louie and you're like, hey, what's up, Lou? Or Shumi, you're like, hey, Amy, how you doing?
Right.
It's pretty unbelievable.
It really is.
Also, I don't know when this time will be, but anytime we want, we can go back and relive our own telling of these stories because of the podcast.
Ah,
We have
true.
like a 10-year diary
It's a great point. You want to just spin a wheel and go like, oh, 2015. Oh, wow, I did Columbus, and I got heckled, and I banged that guy, or whatever, You want to see that, because it just goes away. You forgot, and you lived that moment. That all happened, and it's gone.
Well, what'd be fun is, when's the first mention of May?
Oh,
Like, May had to come into the podcast
that's
at
true.
some point.
Yeah,
you know what
you're
I mean?
right.
And you have, like, engagement stories and
Yes!
pregnancy and Schumer. And we weren't even headlining when we were doing this thing, which is crazy.
Oh, my God, that's wild.
I mean, I think...
I'm getting misty.
I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know when... Well, I guess we started it late in 2013 because I'm like, we did like Hartford. You featured for me at City Steve.
I know.
Which is crazy, which I think that was pre-podcast. But don't you wish we had that? I'm like, boy, you really killed with that 20 mins.
Oh, my God. We got hammered after, and I think we yelled at the guy because he wouldn't give us more beer.
Yeah,
the
that
crowd
was
sucked.
fun.
They didn't throw anyone out.
Then we had 2 old bags in a hotel room one time. That was something, too.
I forgot about that.
A couple of 52-year-old ladies with like pantyhose. And
Yeah.
I mean, they were like grandmas. I remember one had her foot. It was like Mrs. Robinson in there. You went in the bathroom for a minute.
Yeah. I was doing some fingering. It was dusty.
That was pre-podcast, certainly.
Those were wild. She was telling me about the Civil War. It was crazy. But, those are some wild times. That was in Midtown, too. We just went right up to their hotel, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm knitting. Sorry about my macrame.
I think it was after like a private gig at Caroline's or something.
It was. We took these 2 old bags up to their suite.
Oh, that's funky. Also, we did Providence together. Remember we did? It was like a rock band, too. We got shithouse in the Biltmore Hotel.
Oh,
we were hammered. I played you the Charlie Chaplin video.
I sent that to 50 people. I got yelled at the next day.
Yeah, we watched the Chaplin video, and we were in like a suite.
Yeah.
I remember being hammered. I was
and
all
high.
fucked up. I remember being like, do you like me? Am I annoying?
Oh, yeah.
Because I kept showing you Chaplin videos, and I was
I
like,
love
look at
the
what
video.
a genius he is.
Yeah.
Are you looking? And you were like, oh, yeah. And I was like, you hate me? What's happening? And then there was, my old apartment, the Samoan.
Oh, the Samoa with the Groucho Marx films. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
weed and the sleepovers.
We watched
yeah.
when Stand Up Stood Out one time.
Yes.
It
And
was also, oh, go ahead.
we went the next day. We went to Applebee's, and then we went and bought you an air conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
With Golger.
At JP Morgan or JP, what's it called?
PC Richards.
PC Richards. I always confuse JP Morgan and PC Richard. This is why I'm not doing well financially. I dropped off $50,000 on an air conditioner at PC Richard. Could that be a bit? Probably
That's
not.
funny. I think it's a local thing. PC Rich.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they didn't have that when I was bagging.
Oh, all right. And then Chuck came into the pod. What was
That's
that?
right.
4 years ago? 5 years ago?
I think like 2.
2 years ago?
Two.
Well,
Feels
it
like
feels like
5.
8. We always do that list, too. It's like Becky, Benji,
Shelby.
Aaron, Friedman, who you forget,
Wow.
Shelby, Black Lou for 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Back to Shelby again.
Yeah.
Chuck, then Shelby again after
Yeah,
Chuck,
right.
hopefully. But,
Yeah, that's wild. It's been a wild ride, and it all comes and goes. But it's sometimes I'll get, they say in a flight, because your altitude is high, you get more emotional. Fun fact, I don't know what that's about. They also say food loses flavor.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's a fun fact or a fact. But I'm such a phone addict that I have no Wi-Fi and no one's texting me, that I'll just go through photos.
I do the same thing.
And sometimes you get to 2014, 2000, and you're like, Nick Turner. That's me and him, like, and
Yeah.
that was a huge part of my life. A guy I knew, and he's gone and has kids. The whole thing's wacky.
I do that all the time. I had this yesterday. I was shitting. I'd look at photos because I'm trying to stay away from social media as much as I can. It's
Yeah.
difficult. So I'll look at photos, and it has the thing where it pops up faces. You can click on a face.
Oh, yeah.
And I have photos of us in Montreal, whatever year that was,
2010.
20. Oh, that was the first time we
Yeah.
went there. Those aren't on the phone. That was crazy. That was when I learned a lot about you that weekend.
Uh-oh.
That was when we were going up, and I was like, we're going to have so much fun. This is going to be great. And I didn't see you one time. I was like texting you. I'm like, where are you? What is going on?
I think I was knee-deep in gash.
I was with Tom Dustin and Ophira Eisenberg, and I was like, you got to meet Norman. He's the craziest. He's the best. We're best buds. And I was like, where the fuck are you?
There's like that poof of smoke that Homer Simpson has when they're like, there's free clams at the bar.
Well, then we had, of course, with Bjorn and the St. Patrick's Day. That was the first real. That's where you're like, I'll be there. I'm on my way. And I thought, I'm only going because you're going.
The
And,
Grammy Teenies.
Yeah, you fucked me. No, that was a different one. I think you also blew off.
Shit.
But then we drove to Boston the next day and really hit it off.
Yeah, that was a back to car ride, full circle. You can really chop it up in a vehicle.
Well, I always say you're never really friends with a comic or whatever job you have, probably, till you go for a car ride.
It's true. It really is true.
Because you just you have to find the common ground. You're in a car.
You have to. You have to make it work, which is kind of a symbol for America because before everybody would just sit together. And now we're all secluded in our phones, and people don't even know how to interact anymore. Like the dating world is fucked up. People are having suicide. Depression's way up. There's no social. We're social beings.
So the best way to get two people to agree is to put them in a car. Maybe we just need to take Jews and Palestinians and put them in a small piece of land.
I love
They'll
it.
start to get along.
Yes, land.
Just cram them all in a small space.
Yes, that's
not bad.
never had a problem with the space and the land over there.
But boy, what other fun memories do we have? By the way, I have to say, because people are going to write to us, it's not Joe Walsh. I think it's Dr. Hook has that line.
Sorry.
Is that right? Look that up.
I think you're probably right.
I think it's Dr. Hook in the medicine show, which is funny because they only have one hit.
Is it a one-hit one?
I don't even think they made the cover of Rolling Stone.
Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, American rock band formed in Union City, New Jersey.
Did they make the cover of Rolling Stone? Because I feel like they did. They?
Yep. Hit singles, Sylvia's Mother, and the cover of Rolling Stone.
I don't even know Sylvia's Mother. How's that go?
She was a whore.
Can we get a couple bars of Sylvia's Mother?
There was a bunch of singles though. It says Sylvia's Mother, cover of Rolling Stone, Only 16, A Little Bit More, Sharing the Night Together, When You're in Love with a Beautiful
Only
Woman.
16.
Wow. Better Love Next Time, and Sexy Eyes.
I'm going to have to go in there and look at those because I only know the one.
Why did I think it was Joe Walsh?
He has other
similar.
funny songs. He has don't change, but sometimes I still
That's the
do.
one.
Life's been good
to me so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. It's around the same time, similar.
I wonder if that
also
has a-
like sarcastic.
Yeah, but does it have a Rolling Stone lyric in there? Maybe not. I'm reaching.
I don't know. It's got Lucky on the sail.
I got a car in the driveway.
Yeah, I got a Maserati. Does 185.
Right.
I lost my license. Now I don't drive.
It's not. There's not much to it musically, but it's a fun listen.
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough to handle this fortune and fame. Everybody's so different. I haven't changed. It's very self-aware.
Yes.
Silly.
Yes.
He's good.
He's good. You know, he went after Che once. You see that?
What?
Him and Michael Che had a spat on the Twitter.
No kidding.
'Cause
Che will go at it with people.
He really will. He said Che said honky. And then Michael, or what's his face, Joe Walsh said, "How come you can say honky? I can't say the N-word."
Really?
Yeah. And then I got, you know.
That's hilarious.
And then I think Che said, "You're a stupid N-word," which I thought was pretty funny.
Well, Che will troll a little bit, which is fun.
Oh, he's a troll dog.
I opened for Che, his first headlining gig ever. I'm sure I've told that story also.
Boy, we're doing a real memory lane on this puppy.
He couldn't check into the hotel because he had no credit card. He has a different last name.
Wow.
They're like, what are you doing? He was looking at me. I'm like, this is embarrassing.
Well, there's something funny about where I got no insurance. My license plate is expired since, before I bought the car. And, Norm McDonald can't drive. Nate Bargatze can't spell. I mean, we're all over the place.
Oh, I got $248 million in a checking account. If I lose my debit card, forget about it. It's,
well, they say never use debit.
Never use debit.
Because
What?
if it gets stolen, if someone steals your debit card, you don't get that back. If someone steals your credit card and they ring up a bunch of bullshit, you can cover that.
No, I think you can fight a charge. I'm pretty sure you can fight debit charges.
I don't know. Give it a go.
I'm pretty sure if you say, hey, that's not me, I think they take it off.
Yeah, they can. Someone stole $5,000 from my checking account.
Sorry about that.
I guess it was from a check, but it wouldn't make a difference between the debit and the check.
All right. I feel like, because that's just money gone. The money is gone where credit is liquid or whatever.
Yeah, I know it's easier, but they had it back in my account that day.
Okay.
I think also, I can't, are you like me? I can't follow directions. I can't put things together.
Oh, yeah. Forget about
Yeah,
it.
they're like, step one, take the Hibbit and the Hobbit and put the Hibbit inside the
Yeah,
Hobbit. I'm
yeah.
like, what are you talking about?
Rapper's delight.
To me, I'm with you. if it's tangible, it's a little easier because I'm like holding the nut and holding the bolt. I'm like, okay, put that together. That's a little better. But if it goes, okay, go to settings, then hit applications. Then from applications, hit privacy. Then from privacy, hit, and I'm like, and I just shit blood.
It's very difficult, and it puts us at a disadvantage in this business because I don't know how anything works.
Yeah, it's tough with the phone and everything.
We came from, a different time.
Yeah, I'm such a tard that I'll, like my lawyer or accountant or somebody will be like, you got to sign this. If you don't sign this, none of your money will go through. It'll all go to Afghanistan, and it funds the is Hezbollah. And I'm like, okay. So I open it, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like putting my finger on the screen to try to sign on the line, and they're like, no, you got to go to DocuSign. Then sign up for a DocuSign. I go, just give it to Hezbollah. I'm out.
I'm the same exact way. And Ronan, God bless this man, he taught me how to like download. Then download a second time, and then you can write on a document.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, something.
I'm already lost.
But then some people have the DocuSign that's like easy, and then I get
Yes.
furious with people that's not easy.
Yes.
It has like a yellow fucking sticker,
and you click it.
and you just type Joe List, and it signs.
It goes, whoop.
So now that I've seen that, everybody that has the old thing, I'm like, fuck your mother and your parents in the ass until they die. And sometimes people are like, someone just goes like, we'll just need it. They don't understand. They're like, just give us a W-9 and you're all set.
Yeah.
I just did. I mean, God bless her. One of my closest friends, one of the most talented people I've ever met. I did Isabel Hagen's film. She's making a feature film. It's
Oh,
unbelievable.
good for her.
Had a part in it. Very exciting.
Cool.
I forgot to tell that story. I should have told that story. I'll do it next week.
She's funny.
She's great, and I love her, and she means a lot to me. Appreciate her. But it's a film, so a film is like a company. And so you can't just like palm someone $200. It's like you have to incorporate the whole film and the whole thing. We dealt with this, and then so I had to sign 17 pieces of paper, and now it's a low budget SAG, so it's for like $41, and it's like 17 signatures. I had to upload a picture of my birth certificate, my son's birth certificate, a picture of my dad's cock, the thumbprint from my penis. I had to have your headshot.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, and I got halfway through, and then my manager was like, hey, he emailed in, he's like, I'll take care of this. And like, no, they go, once you've started the artist process, you can't have the manager do it.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm not joking. I was in my basement with a fucking headlamp going through files, and I had to pull out, not my birth certificate, my social security card,
Oh, yeah, who's
my
got
license. It was nuts. I literally was going through a filing cabinet, and finally
Wow.
they're like, you're all set, and I got $33.48 come through. And but anyways, it was a great picture.
The funny thing is this is the easiest it's ever been to do all these things. Everybody's like, oh, it's so you used to have to go down to the notary, then you had to go to the IRS and file a claim, and I'm like, somehow this feels harder.
Yes, well, that's the thing too. I'm like, just have the fucking paperwork on set.
I know.
Or
I'll
at
knock
the
it
club.
out.
Just
I know.
let me.
Exactly. But in their mind, they're like, oh, this is easy. Well, just one email. I'm like, one email? I got 30 emails. I can't keep track of all of them.
I just remembered I have like a big thing like this sitting in my mailbox, my email box.
That's daunting, isn't it?
Fuck. All right, well, we got to wrap up. It's great to be. That was a fun.
That was a nice little run there.
I'm off the road for a bit, but January 11th through the 13th, I'm in Tacoma. The weekend after that, January 19th, 20th, I'm in Poughkeepsie, nice local gig.
Hell yeah.
And fuck, I should be looking at my
That's
book.
an hour and change away. You're back that night.
Let me look at my stupid book. Jeez.
See, old fashioned, no digital, folks.
I started a long time ago. Oh, Austin. I'm in the Mothership. February 8th through the 10th.
Hell yeah.
That's going to be fun.
You can go down and do some pods.
Doing the whole weekend. And Springfield, Missouri. I'm coming back there. I am excited about it. February 22nd through the 24th. Good Nights in Raleigh.
Woo!
March 14 through 16. Pittsburgh Improv. March 28th through 30. So I'm going back out next year, and I'll be out a bunch. So do
Hell
that.
yeah.
And check out Mindful Metal Jacket. I never plug it. Mindful Metal Jacket and Joe and Ronan Talk Movies.
Nice. And watch the YouTubes.
Yeah, please, for God's sakes.
Hey, bunch of dates, marknormancomedy.com, coming to you all over the country. A lot of big theater tour, cooking. We might be drunk. Bodega Cat. I don't know. Just check it out. Get on the Patreon. Get yourself a mug. Happy holidays. Queef it up. Tell the people you love them. Take photos. And what do you got? Sea Dog.
Check out my podcast, Fun Bearable. We just had the cast of Futurama on.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Katie Seagal?
Not Katie Seagal, but the voice of Fry, Bender, Farnsworth, all the main characters except for her.
Underrated show.
It's
I
a
always
very
say.
well-written show, like super smart. But yeah, funbearablepod.com. They talk a lot about, they just got renewed for 2 more seasons.
Oh,
Wow.
I don't know how many shows have gotten canceled 6 times and renewed
know,
afterwards, but yeah, it was awesome. It was very fun, so check it out.
Hell
I
yeah.
think what happens with that is like people are like, you only have whatever 800,000 viewers. This is a failure, and then they take it off, and then they're like, oh wait, that's a good number now.
That's a part of it for
Right,
sure.
They're
right.
like,
Yeah,
this
for
isn't
sure.
1991.
Oh yeah, we're not going to put up my panel with Wayne Knight. He didn't let me film it.
Wow.
I did
man.
moderate for it, but he wouldn't. He said no.
I've heard he stinks.
He was a little.
All right.
All right.
Signing off. Thanks for being